Hello. What's up, family? Welcome to the family meeting. How are y'all doing today? Or as we would say in the Black church, on today.
On today.
On today. How's it going, folks? How is it going? I don't know what's going on in my head. This craziness. This is sheer insanity over here. Don't worry. Sheer insanity. All right. How you doing?
Well, I'm trying to get everything aligned here. The camera isn't quite right. You have a little bit more room than I do, but yeah, we're in the ballpark here.
There we go. There we go.
So yeah, it's a little gloomy today.
It's supposed to rain for the next 5 days. And I was like, oh gosh, where is that? What's that commercial? Calgon, take me away. I need to go. I cannot. We need the rapture. You know what I think happened to the rapture? So we were supposed to get raptured in October. Remember that?
September.
And then October 6th, the date kept getting pushed back.
Yeah, one of your cousins in South Africa rescheduled the rapture.
I don't know what happened, but I blame Mike Winger. Because every time we were supposed to get raptured and I was like, Deuce, I'm out, he would come on a live stream or on a video release and be like, yeah, these people are crazy. We're not going anywhere. I think he foiled the plot because I was ready to go. Bag was packed. Okay. Ready to just sit back in my angel chair. Okay. Not saying that I was going to turn into an angel, but like sitting back in my chair in the glory clouds. I was ready. And here we go. Cousin Mike then just gone on and made it so that the rapture didn't come.
He just messed it all up.
He was hating on those of us who was holding on to hope, holding on to a glimmer, a little ray. I was ready for the twinkling of an eye. I was ready for the trumpet. And then here we are, November 12th, just sitting in Upland, California.
So back to my comment. It's a little dreary today.
Well, hello, it's all connected. It's dreary, and thus we are still here, and I blame Mike.
Okay. Oh, let's see. We having people come on here and enjoy the foolishness. This person says, I stumbled onto your channel and been so blessed by it. Thank you for the content. Are you going to post any videos from your conference? That's a great question. So for our Giving Tuesday campaign, we will be making one of the videos available as one of the perks that people will get for a donation as part of our Giving Tuesday campaign. And then next year, our monthly partners will be receiving 6 of the messages as a part of the giving for them. So
yeah, it's part of our thank you. But if you're not a monthly partner, I believe you're going to be able to buy the classes, right?
Yeah, and then I'm going to turn it into a class.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
so that will be now. Blaming Mike Winger for us not being raptured, that's pretty.
I think we can start a coalition. I've heard things. I have feelings and vibes.
I'm still trying to make friends with him. Don't spoil it just yet. We just finally had a dinner with him. I'm trying to get to know him, get on his good side.
He need to start joining in on the rapture conversation. So we gotta go, people. Like, I'm like, Lord, we need to go. It is ghetto down here on earth. Earth is ghetto. This is a hood I was not ready for. Okay. I grew up, I spent the majority of my 1 to 18. I spent the majority of that time in South Central Los Angeles. And I've never seen ghetto-ness like I have seen in these social media streets.
We're going to talk about that
political streets.
Yes,
today. Let's jump in.
Okay.
So, I'm calling this family meeting or the
what
topic.
Are we calling this?
Foolishness, like we do every week.
Okay. Just so we're clear.
Yeah, please. Welcome to the channel for Foolishness. This is the Foolishness Podcast. So I want the topic, and what I'm really hoping to bring people along to is a conversation of boldness. I definitely, I feel like my mom has raised me to just be bold. Like I'm going to, if it needs to be said, I'm going to say it.
Really? I didn't know that about you.
Don't start. We only 4 minutes in. Okay. And so part of that does need to be sharpened all the time, and at time it needs to be like smoothed and disciplined and all of that. And I had to learn that young, but it's not something that I've perfected. It's something that I still have to learn. And how do you work humility and boldness together so that you're not walking in pride and just arrogance, thinking you can just say anything all the time? And sometimes I do be saying anything. But
no comment.
We only 4 minutes and 30 seconds into this thing, and the rapture ain't coming no time soon.
It's not coming to rescue me.
So, but I still think that it's important to, as Christians, be bold, to allow our witness to be direct, to be clear. We don't have to shrink back in timidity and fear. You have not been given a spirit of fear or timidity, and so how do we live that out in righteousness as well? And so that's what I want to talk about. And we're going to talk about a few specific things. Hopefully I can get to 3. We may only make it to 2. The first one I want to talk about is Krista's conversations that she's been going back with, or that she's been releasing on social media about Biola. I think one of the first conversations was what you and I did together when we were in Birmingham, maybe. I'm not sure where we were, but we did a live stream. And at the same time, Elisa Childers released something on X about Biola, and then she did a conversation with Dr. Everett Piper on choosing a Christian college, what has happened to Christian colleges, why she can't recommend Biola anymore. And while so much of the focus is on Biola, the conversation really is bigger. It's really about what in the world has happened to Christian education, higher education, and how do we stand for something different? When the culture wants to overrun our institutions, how do we say a hearty, heck, no, you can't, you're not having that. You ain't having my kid. There is, I believe, a time and a place and a proper way to do that. And sometimes that looks like being in somebody's face and being like, not today. I dare you to step up. And so that is what I think Krista's doing. I think Elisa's doing. And so we're going to talk about Krista's thing and what she recently dropped, a video and interview she's recently dropped. And then the following day, Megan Basham from the Daily Wire also released an article that is entitled "The Fight to Make a Christian College Christian Again," where she looks at something specific that's happening within, or that has happened within Biola. And then I also want to look at the whole Candace Owens kerfuffle, where Allie Beth Stuckey has taken a position of I'm going to stand and we're going to call out the negative here, the wrong, the lies that are here. I'm going to stand for truth. And today, Melissa Dougherty also released a video. It's satire and it's hilarious. I think it's brilliant. But we can push back against this darkness. We can push back and stand our ground and say, you know what, I'm gonna be bold. So I've said a lot.
I like because people might not know this, but we take turns producing the podcast.
Tag team, back again. Ready, get set, baby. Let's begin. Yeah, you tag team. Go ahead.
Is that a popular song?
Never mind. It's all right. Never mind. The rapture can't even fix that.
But then when you produce a show, you like to kind of pick a theme, and then you pick a bunch of content that kind of reinforces your theme. Whereas when I do a show, I kind of pick a topic. I want to really build on this one thing, and then go about it. It's my
ADHD. I know, girl, I'll be all over the place. Bing, bing, bing. I don't care.
Different approaches to producing the show.
Here is the thing. We gonna get there. And we family, so we gonna get there together. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
I drive down the freeway doing 82 miles an hour.
Yeah,
you drive doing 61. So as long as we get there safely, righteously, she on the righteous bus. My bus is coming. It's coming. Okay.
All right.
So let's look at your Jennifer Hughes is in there. Hey, Jen. Let's look at tag team. Hey, Amy. The first thing, which is your post. Now, your post is based on an interview you did with a man named Andrew Rodriguez, who is a Christian counselor. And Christian therapist. And so you did an interview with him. We'll link this in the description. so that
I'll put up
everyone
the-
can see it. But
I'll put up the thumbnail. Oh, look at your big face. And
who's big face?
in
I
behind.
don't describe you in such derogatory terms.
That's not derogatory.
You just said I had the face the size of a watermelon. That is
No,
not
no, I
okay. Yes,
didn't.
you did. I heard it.
No, I didn't.
Okay. So back to what we were saying.
Hold on, I gotta figure out. I don't like this mode of I want to see. No, that's not what I want.
Father, we don't. Let me talk amongst us. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me talk amongst us.
You do your thing.
So Krista did an interview with a man named Andrew Rodriguez, as I just mentioned. And in this interview, they are talking about a lot of the queer theory things that are currently happening at Biola that might fly under the radar and be promoted as just normal, but it's in actuality, it's really queer things. In this interview, Andrew brought up what is her name?
Okay, so
are you done playing now?
No, I can't get
okay.
It to
well, we don't have time.
Right. I'm.
It's okay. Just leave it as it is.
You know me. I'm always
just leave it as it is because we ain't never gonna move on. We gotta go.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
Okay. All right. So I did an interview with Andrew Rodriguez. Andrew is an internet acquaintance of mine. And you can see the thumbnail there. It's trying to be on the screen, only it's the size of a postage stamp.
It's okay. We'll link it in the bottom.
Okay.
We just got to go.
Okay.
Move. Get out the way.
All right. So basically what I was trying to accomplish with this was I can't do it if you're laughing.
I'm sorry. It was funny. It blessed my spirit. Go ahead.
All right. I was trying to look at and read the gender policies at Biola. We did a live stream about it like last month. But then Biola changed their gender policies suddenly. And so I invited a Christian counselor on my podcast to analyze both the old statement and the new statement. And Andrew's pretty much his entire practice in his counseling ministry is dealing with people who struggle with homosexuality and gender confusion and providing support and counseling for them. So I thought he was a good person to come in and kind of analyze the statements. And so we had a really good discussion about it. But then we got into the Biola Counseling Center, which is one of the main resources that Biola refers students to for help. So if they come to the school and they disclose to their RA or a professor, hey, I'm struggling with same-sex attraction issues, they're supposed to funnel that person to the Ministry of the Dwelling, which is kind of a Biola-sponsored fellowship group, ministry group. I don't know how to describe it. Support group for people who struggle with homosexuality and gender confusion. The other resource is the Biola Counseling Center. Well, one of the things that Andrew talked about on the podcast is that Rosemead, the School of Psychology at Biola, has right on their website that they're against conversion therapy, which leads to questions about like, well, what is conversion therapy exactly? Is that, what if a person wants to explore some kind of woundedness or source of their, if there is a source of their same-sex attraction feelings, and does that fall under conversion therapy if they're wanting to repent or seek change? And so it really raises a lot of pastoral questions about how Biola is helping it support its students. And come to find out, the head of the Biola Counseling Center wrote an amicus brief for the Supreme Court consideration in support of the state of Colorado and their anti-conversion therapy law. Now, the conversion therapy law is being challenged by an acquaintance of my friend Andrew Rodriguez, who's a Christian counselor, and she wants to be able to help her clients be able to explore their attractions and within the context of their faith, explore healing or transformation or repentance, and to potentially change those affections. And so she's challenging this Colorado law. And so Andrew had also written an amicus brief for the Supreme Court in support of his friend who's trying to challenge the conversion therapy law. And so during that process, he noticed that Michelle Winningham, the head of the Biola Counseling Center, had written an amicus brief in support of the Colorado law, which would appear to be a direct contradiction to the statements that Biola has in place. And yet, this is one of the main resources that the university is supposed to refer its students to. And it raises questions about this person who's the director of the counseling center. What kind of advice or counsel are they going to be giving students exactly?
Lean in.
Yeah. So it was good to bring it out in the open. And then the very next day, Megan Basham dropped an article on the Daily Wire breaking the same story. Now, we were aware of each other's work, but we had come to this knowledge independently.
I know.
I'm just letting other people know.
Well, you was looking at me like maybe I was questioning. No, I'm sorry. I was like, I know.
No. So
yeah, you guys came to it independently. Megan's article is on I think it's on our Facebook page, but it's also on her Facebook page and on her X account if you want to read it. So yeah, but again, I highlight this because there's also been movement at Biola. So one, people that were connected to at Biola are talking, are like they're hearing. I'll say that they're hearing the conversations of people who are frustrated that, Biola keeps being brought in the news, or who are angry that, we keep ringing that same bell. But then there's also been some change, and
they did change their gender policies after we read them on the air. Now, we don't know whether there's any connection between those two events. I kind of wonder if those other gender policies would still be up on the Biola website if we hadn't read them in public.
Oh, they definitely would be.
You're more confident about
No,
that.
I know so because I had a conversation with someone who told me that after the initial 2 rounds of posts and things like that, someone in the higher realms of Biola said, we potentially have, made some mistakes, and we're going to go back and we're going to look at these things. They're not going to be ashamed to look at these things. And that's what they did. And so I appreciate that. But again, if no one was bold, if everyone just continued to sit back in their little silos and be like, oh, well, I don't want to be a transphobe. Oh, well, I don't want to be seen as a homophobe. I don't want people to be angry at me. They're going to counsel me. They're going to talk bad about me. If that was all that, we focused on, nothing would have ever changed, except for the fact that it would have gotten worse. Mm-hmm. At least now it's on people's radar of hey, Biola may not be the school that I thought it was. Mm-hmm. And if my child goes to Biola, I need to be having more intentional conversations about what are you learning? What are the books you're reading? Who are your professors? Because they might come home thinking that they're a different sex. One of the things that I appreciated about the conversation with Thaddeus, Sean, Eric Thomas, and Fred Sanders was the fact that I don't remember who it was on there. Maybe it was Eric Thomas or Sean who said, when my kid goes to class, they go to register, I register them. Why are you registering your child? If everything is on the up and up, why do you feel the need to sift through the professors? But I do appreciate that there is clarity in the fact that every professor here, you can't take that. And Sean even saying, my child cannot, and I wouldn't recommend that anyone go to sociology. Ding ding, I went to sociology. But yeah, we need to be intentional in looking at what is my kids' classes. But again, the boldness behind what was said and what has been said, and the buttons that continually are being pushed, I believe is creating conversation and ripples and causing people to lose money, and donors and all of that. And that is
or
going
at
to have
least
an
have
effect.
donors ask
Question.
better
Mhm.
questions. And our goal in all of this, I keep saying this, is like, I am not here to shut down Biola. I'm not here to harm Biola. I love Biola. I want it to endure. I feel like it's a unique school in so many ways. I just wanted to show up in the best way possible, and that's why I'm fighting. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's hard, it's a lonely path. I've been trying to highlight these problems for 5 years. I've put a lot of time into documentation, had a lot of people ridicule me, call me names.
Who's out here calling you names, girl? Who? You want me to go find them?
You've seen the comments.
What you said about?
Yeah.
What you say about? Never mind. Let me stop.
It's been hard, but I'm glad for the traction that it's finally getting after 5 years. You know, some good changes have happened, and that's encouraging. I'm not trying to paint Biola as a lost cause or as totally bad. I think that the progressives and the progressive leaning people, like, many have opted out, many have self-selected out, which is great. And there's still more work to do. I think that highlighting the gender policies has been a big push forward, but we have people on the inside that are like, keep going. They're encouraging me, like, it's making a difference, keep going, which is great. I'm sure some of the people at Biola probably wish I would shut up. And
but see, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're going to be okay, let me woosah. If you can't take, and I said this in 2020, and I've said it every year since, if you can't take somebody calling you a name, we got a problem. Like, you need to come into the family and, like, really understand that, really understand who you are and your positionality in Christ, and you know what Christ calls us to, and how that road is not going to be easy, and it might be filled with name calling. And, like, we grew up so differently, because I was not allowed to cry if somebody called me a name. Okay, somebody called me a name, you better walk away. Like, sticks and stones may break your bones, and keep going. And so I'm not saying that my position is always the most sensitive or helpful, but we have to understand people are going to call you names. They are. But sometimes that pushback will accomplish things. It'll get things done. So you can call me a name, but look them over here changing your policies. But then too, oh yeah, like, somebody came on the Facebook page today and said, this is in regards to your
I don't think anyone's interested in this topic. Nobody's commenting.
That's why maybe they're not.
I think we should move on. Nobody cares about this.
Look at her just trying to speak for y'all. She is a little out there. We can actually move on to the Candace, Owens, and it's almost 5 o'clock, to the Candace, Owens, and Allie, Beth, and Melissa Dougherty thing. But I will say this, that somebody came on one of your comments, one of your posts, and said that y'all just trying to get people to live Christianity through the scriptural lens, basically, that you believe in. And I appreciated that post so much, because I was like, thank you. They were pro, Biola's progressive.
They were progressive.
Yeah, they were progressive. They were pro Biola's progressive positions. They actually said that they had quit Biola because Biola wasn't progressive enough. But my response was, when you're clear and you stand in a clear position, people will recognize the clarity.
Yeah.
I responded and said, I am so glad that you recognize that Biola has a different scripture. They have a different standard. And that standard is not in line with historic Christianity.
I think it's very telling that they felt like they should select out because Biola was too conservative. I thought, oh, it's good news. I think I made a comment to that person of like, thank you for the clarity, that you selected out.
I said, I hope Biola gets on your page. Other professors get on your page, and they opt out as well. See, my response is always going to be a little bit more petty. Okay, Melissa, if you have not seen this gem of a video from Melissa, I would, yeah. If you are not on X, go to YouTube, like her video. It is a gem. We're gonna watch it.
It says Candyland in the
because she calls her Candy Father.
It's about Candace Owens. So if you don't know Melissa, she does videos on apologetics, but she also does satires sometimes, and so does Allie Beth. It does satires.
Y'all, now you got people commenting, I'm interested. Don't pay her no never mind. Don't pay her no never mind. Don't, yeah, you don't have to. It's okay. We know you there. I'm very interested in Biola's trajectory. This has been incredibly eye-opening. As someone who works in higher ed, I want my Christian students to understand what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah. And shoot, at this point, this in front of the scenes.
You just have to know where to look.
This leading the scenes. Okay, so Melissa Dougherty created this satire video because Candace Owens has really come out since Charlie Kirk's death in a very dirty, it's the only word I can think of. Confusing, dirty. I low key want to just call it underhanded. Like, I don't know if she's just doing it for clicks. I don't know if it's a mental health issue. I have no idea what's going on with Candace. But she has insinuated that TPUSA was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Well, she would say involved in a cover-up.
A cover-up, yes.
Of it. Yes. Try to be as accurate as we can.
Yeah. That there are other people who, but I mean, if you involved in the cover-up, ain't you just as guilty as being involved in the situation?
I've asked that question.
Ain't that the same?
I've asked that question.
Like, just because I didn't pull the trigger, but I dug the ground, like, I don't know. She's insinuated a lot of things, and she has, it's a lot. In her insinuations, implicated a lot of people, and it's not helpful. I would, say it's harmful. And so thankfully, Allie Beth Stuckey has done a couple of videos responding. Our friend Elisa Childers, my auntie, has also come out and, made an X post. And then Melissa did this video. So let's watch this.
Again, this is satire.
It is satire. And if you don't think it's funny, well, then we can have a conversation later.
Hey Candy, how you doing? Is it okay if I call you that? I mean, do you prefer it with an I or a Y? No preference? Okay. Anyway, so we're here to talk about how you became the #1 most listened to podcast in the world.
In the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of financial reports that are coming out.
Oh, we're just gonna jump right into it. Okay. Well, those coming weeks were like a month ago. Still waiting, Candy, but I mean, good angle, great angle, just throw everybody off. So promise evidence, but never deliver. This builds suspense and engagement.
I, first and foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk.
Holy smokes, Candy-O. That's a huge claim. I mean, you have tons of evidence outside of your imagination for this, right? Right?
I don't know, maybe the weird Fed messages that were concocted out of thin air that had no timestamp and were written like they were speaking in 1822, among other things.
Okay, so these text messages.
I actually did not read that they were text messages.
Oh, of course you didn't. That's actually so smart. I mean, flood people with random, unverifiable details, have ambiguous sources, say ambiguous things, and then take no accountability when you're called out for the lives that you ruin. You can deny it when it backfires, or take credit when you're mysteriously right.
The feds made up the text messages.
And only you know this.
I have very strong sources everywhere on both sides.
Where? Who are they? Oh, there are none. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Okay. All right. So it's like you're like the chosen one with these pretend inside sources that somehow risk contaminating an enormous federal case just to keep you in the loop. Grandiose claims, zero verification. I mean, it's Candyland logic. It's brilliant. I mean, I'm going to have the #1 podcast by this time next year.
Who's going to present that evidence? Like the mainstream media?
I mean, of course you're going to present the evidence according to Candy. I mean, if I do believe you, I'm enlightened. If I don't, then I'm part of the conspiracy. Wouldn't this be circular reasoning?
No, it wouldn't be.
I see what you did there. Okay, so this is how someone becomes the #1 most listened to podcast in the world. Paranoia, check. Outrage, check. Emotional manipulation, check. And fear. Oh, because everybody is afraid to speak out against you. I mean, wow, this sounds a lot like what the left did to make people believe lies. Yeah, there's no connection though, none. So you're capitalizing on a man's murder, tormenting his widow in the process with no real evidence outside of your own brain. Oh, and he obviously talks to you in dreams. So, I mean, it makes you double special. Convincing people a clearly guilty man is not guilty and never pausing to actually consider the consequences if you're wrong, like basically advocating for a killer to walk free. Girl, you don't need a podcast. You would make a great cult leader, at least in my opinion.
Her mind.
Go ahead.
I wish I had her mind. I did. I text her and I said, I don't know whether to be like mad at you because I'm not like just that petty in my own brain. I need that level of petty.
So now we should say that there is a certain Venn diagram of followers that follow our ministry that probably follow Candace Owens as well. And there's going to be some people that are sort of offended by Melissa's satire here. But I think it really, like, I agree with the points that Melissa's saying. Our friend Frank Turek has done a couple of interviews. Jim Wallace has done a couple of interviews about the nature of evidence and how the Christians, we need to look for evidence. And I don't really know what Candace is trying to accomplish. I mean, I know what she says. She's trying to solve Charlie's assassination. But to me, what she's doing is probably harming the case more than helping the case. I don't know what she thinks she's going to do. She has her own court. She's a judge. She's a prosecutor. She's a detective.
All I know
all rolled into one
is that if you offended by Melissa's post and you think that because I've heard this a couple of times, somebody was on my X feed earlier and said, like, this is cowardice. And if you're watching, you're open and welcome to your opinion. I don't think so. I do not think that it's cowardice to, in the public square, address someone who made a comment in the public square. I would actually say, yes, let's have more of that. If people can go around making ugly, horrible comments in the public square, we can surely address them in the public square. I do not need to run behind closed doors, figure out a way to get your phone number or your email and ask you for a private conversation when you don't know me. What I can do is take your horrible, ugly comment and tear it apart in the public square. Because the people making the comments don't care that they're tearing apart other people's lives. And so, yeah, no, there are going to be people, we do have a Venn diagram, an overlap of people who, support us and watch us, but then would also go and watch Candace and, question and consider Candace and, feel like people like Melissa or Allie Beth Stuckey are really harsh on her. And she's just really trying to figure it out and ask questions. And, then I guess you don't care if we're just trying to figure it out and ask questions too. Again, Candace Owens is bold and somebody can meet her with her boldness. That's my only position. Let's see.
I think the thing with Candace that is also difficult is that I think people are going through a bit of like, oh, she used to be a trusted voice. She was somebody that I turned to for information about Black Lives Matter or other conservative issues. And now I feel confused about what she's doing. Or people think that she's a truth teller and she's David versus Goliath and she's a little David trying to stand for truth. She's the #1 podcast in the world. No, she's not David. She is Goliath. She is the Goliath. And if you go up against her, she will mock you. She'll accuse you.
And so are her followers.
Yeah. And Elisa said something the other night at dinner. I think it's okay if we say this in public. I think she would say it in public. She said that the followers of Candace Owens are even more brutal than the progressive Christians that she's faced over the years. She said they make progressive Christians look like preschoolers. She said they are pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
In defending her. So yeah.
So I mean, my thought is be bold, and we can address things in the public square. It doesn't mean we need to intentionally tear people down and things like that, but I don't have to address every public comment you make in private. Sometimes you said something in public, like I'm going to respond to you in public.
To me, it's like a book review. No, nobody accuses me if I write a book review. I say, "Oh, did you contact the author privately?"
I've had that happen.
Did you go to them first?
I've had that happen.
No, that's silly. This is an academic exercise that people have done for hundreds of years, writing book reviews. Like, we can write a book review. If I review a video, it's a public statement that I'm commenting on in public. Now, I really try to work on, when I do that sort of thing, I try to be fair. I try to be accurate. I try to be careful. I try not to go off half-cocked. I try to have evidence and say things that are factual and that could be fact-checked and looked at. I tried to, as much as possible.
But if your book is a mess, I'm gonna say so.
Yeah. So
sorry. Maybe you wouldn't. You don't think so? I think you would be more kind in calling a book a mess, because I think that's your heart.
I try. I try to be fair, because if they were to review my book, I try to treat them the way I would want to be treated.
But is it unfair to say that your book, if a book is a mess?
No, sometimes I've had to say, this is probably the way I would say it is, it's confusing, or it's needed a better editor, and it needed to be more clearly worded, something like that. But this whole thing of like having some secret knowledge that only you know about, and you have insight into, that's just a modern manifestation of the old heresy of Gnosticism. So when somebody tells you that they have secret knowledge about something, like, be skeptical, and positing things like, I just have a vibe, or I just have a feeling about this. It's just a feeling. Like, that's not evidence. And we're always talking about the importance of multiple independent lines of evidence. What Candace is doing is not a real investigation. This isn't an Agatha Christie novel. This isn't Murder, She Wrote. Now, if the investigation is no good and we get to the trial and things seem very weird and suspicious, well, then we could have other conversations. But right now they're trying to build their case. There might be very good reasons why they aren't releasing certain footage. There might be very good reasons why TPUSA isn't disclosing everything all at once to the public. Like, that's not how an investigation works. So
it might not be none of your business.
Now, Monique has never been a fan of Candace Owens.
No.
We should probably say that. She hasn't ever rocked with her.
Nope.
And we've never really platformed her. We've been critical of her even, I think, 3 years ago. Like, probably the most positive things we said was, we did do a show about her BLM documentary, but we've never really pushed Candace as a voice.
Mm-hmm. What was I going to tell you?
Oh, this is a good comment. Public comments are not Matthew 18 personal offenses. It's closer to 1 Timothy 5:20 scenario that needs to be dealt with publicly. I agree with you, Ryan. Thanks for weighing in.
Remember when, was it Christianity Today asked me to do the book review on whose book was it? Jamar Chisby? Candace, was it Jamar? No.
They asked you did one book review on Kendi's anti-racist book. Then you did another book review on George Yancey's book.
So I did one for George Yancey. It was the Kendi book, and they wouldn't publish it.
That was Gospel Coalition.
Gospel Coalition, yeah, because it was two. See, sometime I should have just been more diplomatic and been like,
oh, the one and only Emily Bontrager's on here.
You need a better editor.
And Emily, the one and only lovely and gracious Emily is on here.
That's her kid. Yes. See, if I would have said you needed a better editor.
Yeah.
Or maybe.
But what's going to happen to the jury pool? You know, it's like, how do you get a jury to find these facts impartially and fairly? And it's like, it's just, yeah, it's This is rough.
I don't know.
All right, so revisit, like, what was your big idea for this in all of these different themes? What was the big idea here?
What I was trying to do, I don't know if I successfully accomplished it. That's okay. You can let me know in the chat. I can try harder. Okay. Oh, okay. So before I go down that road, I was thinking this morning about how, it's a tangent, and
the ADHD people.
Hey, it'll be okay.
It's real.
I was thinking this morning about how when I was a kid, I wanted to be a public speaker, and like it was in fifth grade. I was in fifth grade, and so I went out and I tried out for this public speaking competition that my school had, and then you would like go on to like regionals and nationals and all that. And in fifth grade, I did not pass like just our little elementary school thing. And I was so bummed, and I was crying. I was like hurt. I was telling my mom, and she was like, Kiki, sometimes your best isn't good enough. And I was like, Mom, I did my best. And she was like, sometimes your best isn't good enough. And so then the next year I was like, well, sometimes my best isn't good enough, but I want my best to be good enough. So I practiced and practiced and practiced, and I worked really hard. And that next year I won first place, and I got to go to regionals. And to me, I kind of see it, because you asked me like, well, what was your takeaway? And I was like, I don't know if I actually accomplished it. But for me, like, I can go again. Y'all still gonna show up to the family meeting, right? Like, I can go again. Like, we have next Wednesday. We continue to have family meetings. So I don't know if I actually accomplished it, but part of shoot, I had two thoughts at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
This is
someone's asking, I'm late. Where are we?
we don't know.
This Monique's in charge of
this is just my brain, people. If you ever wanted to know, if you ever want to know what my brain is like, it is 45,000 comments all at once. So sometimes your best isn't good enough. The next year I went on to regionals. And I guess that's kind of how I see the family meeting and podcast and, all of that. Like, hey, sometimes your best won't be good enough. I wish we would raise a generation that understood, like, you need to continue to try harder and not just give out participation trophies. You know what I mean?
Okay, so back to my point.
Okay.
I
had a whole point in my head.
What was the big idea of the show that we did the conversation I did with Andrew Rodriguez on Biola's gender policies. We talked about Megan Basham's article. Talked about Melissa's video. We talked about Allie, Beth. What do you want us to walk away with?
Just choose to use your voice.
Okay.
Choose to be bold. You don't know how your boldness may impact the people around you, whether that's in your home, whether that's at work, whether that's in your community, or whether that's something on a national scale. Allie, Beth, and Melissa are pushing back, on something that is happening in our national conversation, cultural conversation with Charlie Kirk and his assassination and things like that. You, Elisa, Megan, you guys are pushing back at what's happening in Biola and in Christian higher ed in general. And there is opportunity for change. We don't just have to sit back like lumps on logs and just allow culture to dictate the way that we must go. We are the church. And as the church, we do have a voice. So we can use our voice boldly.
That's good.
That was the goal.
That one. We're on rabbit trail number 4.5.
Girl. It's okay. Yeah.
All right. We had someone
say, I thought the episode was about boldness.
There we go.
Because
we arrived there.
He was just trying to throw me under the bus.
No, I just want to make sure everyone is on the same page.
Yes. My life is like rabbit trails. Like,
imagine working with her.
Oh, it's 1,000 rabbit trails every day. Every day. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Does anyone else's brain work that way? B Breep 9972 says my brain functions the same way. I'm just saying, like, yes. But when it's actually working to accomplish things, it's good. If Mo goes left, I go left too. So I was lost. I'm just saying, it can really happen. I recommend making sure you're plugged into reality before being bold. However, one Candace is enough. Yeah.
That's a good comment.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, friends. We will see you next week, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be in town.
The Lord says the same.
Yeah, we will be here. Talk about the news. We'll try to get Kevin on. As a number of international things that I want to talk about and we just couldn't work out the logistics today. But if we do have Kevin on next week, it'll be an hour earlier. It'll probably be at
3 Pacific.
3 Pacific, 6 Eastern. But I want to get him on to talk about play some geopolitical whatnot with him and get caught up on some things and talk about Israel and Syria and America First, and also the housing problem, affordability, the really dumb Trump idea of 50-year mortgages. I want to talk about
was a
that.
mess.
And a number of policies that I'm disagreeing with the Trump administration about that. Someone came on our page the other day and I'm like, all you do is agree with Trump. I'm like, we hardly ever even mention Trump. And when we do, we're usually disagreeing with them. I don't know. It was weird. People still think we're simps for Trump, but anyways. All right, friends, we will see you next week.